Village Talk Show. Come one, come all to learn and grow. Welcome to the Village Talk Show. We discuss what people need to know, empowering them to learn and grow. We discuss what people need to know, empowering them to learn and grow. Give praises to Jehovah, from whom all blessing and knowledge will flow. Blessing and knowledge will flow. The Village Talk Show, dedicating to empowering the community to live a healthy, safe, and financially capable life, helping each one of us in realizing our dream at any age, any point, starting from today, day. Success. Come one, come all to learn and grow. Welcome to the Village Talk Show. Come one, come all to learn and grow. Welcome to the Village Talk Show. We discuss what people need to know, empowering them to learn and grow. We discuss what people need to know, empowering them to learn and grow. Success is not spoken, it is done. Success is done. Come on now. The Village Talk Show. Talk Show. The Village Talk Show.
All right. So good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another week of our Village Talk Show. We're really excited to be here with you this final day in July 2022, just to make sure that you're enjoying yourself and having a great time out there. I want to give God, giving honor and praises to my God, our God, your God, for the great things that he has done for all of us. And I forgot to inform everyone that we're out there today. So I'm going to send out something as soon as our producer sends it to me. I'm sending it out there to you to enjoy, unless he sent it out and I didn't see it. It's there. Right. So just want to, again, giving God honor and all the glory for giving us another day to be with each other. I tell people, if I am dead, I love it. Keep me this way. But if not, when God is ready for me, I will be there waiting and praying through the situation, because I understand that my relationship with God is one that is very positive and one that's very thankful out there. So you're joining us right here on the Village Radio Talk Show on 92.1 GD Radio, on YouTube, where we want you to join and subscribe. Join us on and subscribe on the Village, right? You hit us on Instagram, on Facebook at any one of the hosts: Roderick F. Daly, Joanne Bryant, John Sampson, our executive producer, Andre Doman, our producer, Sophia Willisey in the background, just to say, hey, thank you, each and every one of you, for everything that you have done. Also know that the Village Talk Show, we're dedicated to empowering the community to live a healthy, safe, and financially capable life through education, helping each one of us in realizing our dreams at any age, any point, starting from today. And where success is not just spoken, it is done. So there are a lot of things that we have to talk about with you today. We're waiting for our hostess and our co-host. Did we get that Bible verse up? Is it there? Ephesians 5 or Ephesians 6, one of the two. Just look it up and see which one it is, and then come back to me. We have so many things to talk about. So many things that we need to talk about today. And it's all about you. Right, it's all about you and letting us know what is going on. Did you send it to John and Joanne? Right. So if our scripture reading today Wow, it's a long one, right? It's a long one. Ephesians 5. And Ephesians 5 is, let me just make sure it's the right one that we're doing. No, I think this is the wrong one. Fornication. Fornication. No, this is the wrong one. Do Ephesians 6, I believe. Try Ephesians 6. All right. Okay, yeah, it's Ephesians 6. So while Andre's pulling that up, this could be for next week, right? I think this is good. We could do Ephesians 5 next week. All right. Okay. So this is just a way. This is the basically some of the following up on Exodus 20 and Deuteronomy 6, where here speaking to the Ephesians, the word says, "Children, obey your parents in the Lord, for this is right. Honor thy father and mother, which is the first commandment with promise, that it may be well with thee, and thou mayest live long on this earth. And ye, fathers, provoke not your children to wrath, but bring them up in the nurture and admonition of the Lord." Admonition of the Lord. "Servants, be obedient to them that are your masters according to the flesh, with fear and trembling in singleness of your heart, and as unto Christ, not with eye service as men pleasers," right? Not with eye service, but as servants of Christ, doing the will of God from the heart. "With good will come service, as to the Lord and not to men, knowing that whatsoever good thing any man doeth, the same shall he receive of the Lord, whether he be bond or free. And yet he masters do the same thing unto them, forbearing, threatening, knowing that your masters also is in heaven, neither they respect persons with them." And verse 10, "Finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord and in the power of his might." Now, there are a couple of things that I want to tackle with this. First of all, in this scripture, there are multiple facets, verse 1 through 4 primarily, right, that we look at. And it reminds our young people that they have to obey your parents in the Lord. And I want to extend not just your parents, your mother, your biological mother and father, but your parents. People are responsible for your guidance, for this is right. Okay. So one thing that I try to teach my young children is that experience is the greatest teacher, not education, right? So your history tells you where you come from and where you're going. So you need to learn to respect, honor, and obey. And just in the same way, adults, and I see so many of us, we look at respect as a one-way street and don't look at the way to respect our young people as well. We have to learn to respect young people as we expect them to respect us and honor us and treat us with dignity, and we do the same. So everything goes back and forth, right, between both sides of the aisle, right? Adults don't look down upon children. Sometimes you don't just say do, sometimes explain why you need to do. Sometimes you don't have to, but sometimes you should, because at times, because remember, both teachings are important, right? Both teachings are important when you teach a child how to be and why to be. Because sometimes you just have to do. Because when emergency situation comes, you just have to do. When situation comes for learning, then you just have to know why, so you can explain and understand. But the second part of it, I was hoping that our co-hostess and our host would be here by now, but the second part of it has to do with this scripture that's here is also the justification for slavery, right? It's also when you read from verse 5 up, servants, be obedient to them that are your masters according to the flesh, right? According to the human being. So a lot of slave owners looked at this and say that you needed to be a slave and you need to be obedient to the servants of the servitude that is presented in front of you, right? The Bible is not really telling a person that you need to own people. servants, and the word servant must be interchanged for workers, not servants as in slaves. Okay, and people, so like a lot of times the word servant mean a helper. So it's a helper is a worker, not necessarily a slave as in a black, a white, or whoever you have as indentured servitude or whatever the situation is. But whoever you work for, you're an employee. You need to be obedient to your boss, to your supervisor. Do what is right, and your supervisor and your boss is supposed to do the same thing unto you. It has nothing to do with enslaving anyone. But this was one of the verses that was used to enslave blacks, and because of the misinterpretation and the misintelligence. A lot of times people don't understand what it means to be educated. This is, if you don't understand what you are hearing, you're accepting it because you're interchanging the word of God with your own word to suit your own needs and your own wants. And so, let's just be careful about the context of what we see here. Right. So I see James wrote something back, but it's not forced servitude, because in there, it says it reminds you. All right, it reminds you. I see the comment. I'm gonna address it. I see John too. Oh, the computer. Oh, I got it. Oh, my computer. Right. So in there, we need to come to an understanding of what the scripture is saying. Right. This first facet, okay, is God's covenant between parent and child. And I'm going to remove the word parent, James, and put in the word adult, the community and the children, right? The community and children, because remember, all children do not have a biological parent. So depending on what the term of explanation of parent is, because some parents die in childbirth, or unfortunately, some parents get killed. So it's not so sometimes they're in an orphanage, sometimes they're in a foster care, sometimes they're raised by their grandparents, and so forth and so forth and so forth. So we cannot just limit it to the biological parent. The second one, acknowledge of discipline through forced servitude. It doesn't really say that, James. It doesn't really say that to a large extent. There are parts of it that are there that we are also interpreting that we need to revisit. So John, bring you on air. Right, bringing you on air right now no, it's gone. No, it's not on my screen. Right. So what's going on, John? I can't hear you, John. Are you muted?
I can hear you.
All right. So talk to us. What's going on? What do you think of what I was just saying?
I didn't hear what you were saying. Could you repeat what you were saying?
No, we're just talking about looking at the scripture verse where Ephesians 6, right, 1 through 10. Where the first 4 verses acknowledge how the community involved, like it says parents. And I said that we're going to broaden the word parents from parent to community. Why? Because all children, it's how you're supposed to train the child in the way he or she is to grow, right? So we as a community have a responsibility to our youth. And also that the respect level needs to be a two-way street. Like a lot of old-fashioned parents think that I tell a child to do and expect for the child to do, and they're not understanding that the response as a parent, you also need to you need to model respect. You can't tell a child to be respectful, right? You cannot tell a child to be respectful when you yourself are not demonstrating what respect means. The many kids don't know what respect is, or just do what I say. That who says you're right? Who says you're wrong? Right? So moving from there. Okay, so that's something that we were just talking about. In the second part, it talks about being a servant, right? And this is the right. The second part of it has to do with what people used to use as enslavement for people to say servant, he's submissive to your master. But it's what you're interpreting, right? Because servants means worker, right? So worker, and be adherent to your employer, right? And also as employer, you should not provoke your employee into wrongdoing. So sometimes what they did was, and one person wrote that it was forceful for servitude. And I'm like, no, it really isn't. It is interpreted, but people not learned to understand that's what it's for, but it's not what it's for. All right. So that was what we were talking about.
And I still don't get it, but
go ahead, I'm listening. What is your take on it?
My take is really I still don't comprehend what was said, but if you're talking about parents, community, you're talking about servitude, you know, I think it's a collective obligation of us as a people to understand that in order for us to grow, it has to be, in order for us to grow and be successful in following the moral ethics and the spiritual ethics of God, I think we have to do a better job of understanding, but also supporting those who don't understand by leading by example.
Perfect.
And
that's what I'm saying. Yes.
And there's ways in which we can serve God. There's ways in which we can do that.
And that is exactly correct, right? It's not just about you and I, right? It's not just about you and I. It's about the collective we, right? The collective we, as in what are we doing to do that? And it's up to I mean, again, unfortunately, right? Very much unfortunately, that people use the Bible for their own interpretation because they want to push whatever they want to push.
Well, Roger, that's like anything else. Everybody has different interpretations, and they're going to utilize certain interpretations to buttress their arguments and support. But you know, I think our approach should be looking at it, being open-minded, and looking at certain things. And are we going to be a strict constructionist when it comes to interpreting the Bible, or we're going to be more of a instead of being strict, a more open construction of the interpretation of the Bible? That's where we run into problems.
You know what I find interesting, John? I don't know this factually, but I'm going to throw it out there anyway. Christianity is one of the few religions that I know that has 6,000 different denominations, and I'm exaggerating the numbers, ladies and gentlemen. Don't go look it up. Right? Denominations of what the expectations are of an individual. You have Seventh Day. Within Seventh Day, you have Seventh-day Adventists. Christians, you have Lutheran, Anglican, Methodist, Church of God of Prophecy, Church of God of Christ, Church of God of this, Church of God of that, non-denomination, Baptist, American, AME Zion. You have, and I'm just thinking, Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, Jehovah's Witness, right? With the Muslim religion, you have Shiite and Eite, right? With the Jews, you have Orthodox, Progressive,
right?
And it's minimal, right, as to what the interpretations are. The teachings are all the same. I don't know any other religion, right? 45,000. So there are 45,000 different interpretation of the Bible, right? So each denomination represents an interpretation. You said 45,000, right? Right, 45,000 denominations. So each denomination represents a different interpretation of what the Bible says. How is that feasible? And that's why some of the times when people have these conversations about
Roderick, that is why you have the 10 Commandments.
No, but it doesn't matter. The
Well,
interpretation.
if you have the 10 commandments, those commandments cannot be interpreted all those different ways.
But they are. That's the problem. If they weren't interpreted differently, you shouldn't have 45,000 different denominations.
If you have the 10 commandments, what is consistent with throughout all those denominations is the
Love God.
10 commandments.
Right, love God. But what is the interpretation of loving God? Like I smile sometimes when I hear like a Seventh-day Adventist go, the Sabbath day.
Dr. Brian, we need your input on this. What do you think, Dr. Brian?
So the point there is, the Bible doesn't speak of Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It doesn't speak of it. It says on the seventh day, God rests. When is the seventh day? Did the Bible tell you that Monday was the first day? Sunday was the first day?
Sunday is the day of rest.
No, right. But for the Sabbath, it's not. Right. So I've yet to see anybody tell me, right, that anybody tells me in the Bible that the Bible tells me when is Monday. All it says, the evening and the morning were the first day. And on the seventh day, God rested.
And the seventh day is what day?
Right? What day is it? Did the
The
Bible?
seventh day is a Sunday. The seventh day is a Sunday.
No.
No.
I called it seventh day
The
Adventist.
seventh day, yeah. Sunday is the beginning of the week.
No, but what
So
I'm
when's the
saying,
seventh day then?
exactly.
Saturday.
No, it's not. Where in the Bible does it say that Saturday is the seventh day? Where in the Bible does it say? All it says is on the seventh day you need to rest.
Right.
What is the seventh day in the Bible? Tell me where in the Bible do you see a day that says Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday? Where? You need to show me.
I don't have my Bible with me, but I'll get it.
I get it for me. If you find out where the Bible says that Monday is the first day, or Monday is the second day. There's no day in the Bible. That's one of the reasons, and again, that's open for interpretation. Let me see what James says. Also, let me see what James says. James said also, this is the type of definition, meaning of words are different. E.g., servants used to mean slave in Roman text. Exactly. Right? So it's an interpretation of what the word means.
You know,
And while we're on that subject, the big topic of the day, though, wait, Joanne, you wanted to chime in? I mean, John asked you. I'm sorry.
Earlier today, this morning, I was listening.
No, we're talking about the subject first before we move on to the next.
No.
You want to move on or stay with this?
No, it's similar to the subject.
Okay.
It is. You were saying about slavery in regards to slavery before I cut off. And how you treat your kids. You were tying a whole bunch of things together. I was in and out.
Yeah, I was just saying that in the scripture, in the 10 verses, it addressed 2 points. One was parents, community involvement with the children, and the second part was about servants. So verse 5 to 10 is about servants. Verse 1 through 4 is about children and parents and community. That's what I was saying.
Okay.
I know you got cut off.
No, that's fine. It wasn't exactly the same topic. So when you're done, I want to bring it back to that topic.
No, I'm done. I'm done with this topic. I want to move on to the next thing.
So no. It was interesting when I was listening to the radio this morning about how people got upset with Jennifer Lopez because she switched her name in regards to taking on her husband's name. And many females feel as though it's a form of control. And
For what? Control for what? Because you take on your husband's last name?
Yes, I was shocked to hear that perspective.
What?
Wait, John, when you're both done, I have something to say about that.
I was like, wow. So they're upset because she did that and felt that she's a sellout. And I was like, wait a minute. So she dropped her name and took on her husband. It's a big issue now.
A big issue for who?
A lot of fans.
So
fans. I mean, get married first, and this is foolishness. That's
John.
foolish.
What's the name of the person? All right. So I love when feminists come up with these conversations, and it goes back to what we say about Republicans and Democrats, and that makes people, right? That makes people.
Mm-hmm.
Feminists, Republicans, Democrats, when it comes to like the COVID, taking the COVID test, not take the COVID vaccine, take this vaccine, inject in your body, whatever the conversation. We're not debating. not debating pro-choice versus pro-life. That's not the point of my conversation. Bill Burr, and I cannot play the clip on air because he has some unnecessary words. He spoke about how the feminist movement cried for the WNBA.
Oh, yes.
But they don't support it.
Mhm.
So the WNBA is failing. The WNBA was designed for women, right? No matter what pronoun you use,
Right.
she, her, they, whatever you want to use. It was
Right.
designed for, but the league is failing because women are not sporting it.
I don't know. You know what? I kind of disagree with that. I don't think it's
What?
equal. Similar to when we had our guests on, it's not fair play. The same amount of money that's invested into,
Where does the money come from?
well, it's sponsorship.
No, it
Sponsorship.
comes from the fan first. I am not going to
Listen,
spend my money.
how?
Joanne,
No,
seriously, you have you have a budget of $10,000. That's your advertising budget, right?
Mhm.
So I'm just throwing a number out, right? Or even $100,000, right? You have $100,000 to spend on a league,
Right.
right? I am going to spend my $100,000 on a league you're going to spend your money from your company to go to the WNBA when nobody shows up. Who am I advertising to? Why is it that some movies, some movie stars command more money than others? Why? Because people are watching. So if you don't show up, I'm not advertising there.
No, I disagree with you.
Okay.
Argument completely. I disagree with him because the thing is, when they started the WNBA, like when we had the coach on, she even mentioned to you it wasn't the same. Just like when they started the NBA, the salaries that now still the salary.
But Joanne, you're looking at the outcome, which is correct. But where does the money come from? The money comes, so the NBA is supplementing the WNBA, right? And I'm not saying that they shouldn't supplement them, but 25 years later, you're still supplementing them because they cannot stand on their own. Why is there the contract money for the NBA players, right? So I'm not saying it's never going to happen, right? It's almost
It's
like
not equal. It's not equal.
but it
I'm
cannot
sorry.
be equal because it comes from the fans. The money comes from
No,
the fans.
before the whole fan situation, it was never fair.
It was never a league and represented in the United. You're still not looking at the overall. The money comes from the fans. If there are no fans, right? If there are no fans, there can be no money.
Well, Roger, hold on. Let me tell you something. The money comes from multiple sources. You get money from the fans, but then you get sponsorships.
Mhm.
The sponsorships are important because the sponsorships are the ones that make sure the arenas are open and the people are getting paid. They can't just depend upon attendance. They have to that's why they ask for the sponsorships to give them the money early so they can budget, just in case of situations where the fans don't come out. There's rain, there's inclement weather. The show still has to go on. That's why it's important to get the marketing dollars in.
Right.
And then wait. Andre has something to say, and then we want to go back to the first conversation, get a couple comments that came up on it, and we bypassed them. So we want to go back to that and come back to the topic. Fair?
Go ahead, Andre.
Go ahead, Andre.
All I'm saying is that if you even think of like startup, like the radio show itself, right? We're gonna need fans, viewers, numbers, and then now the big dogs them notice us, and then there's that more money. So in a sense, our fans support us, right, and build us up in a way where other big dogs notice us, right? The big companies and them. So it's sort of like a similar concept.
And that's what I'm saying. Like it works both ways. At the onset, you need the startup money, right? At the onset, you need the startup money. You don't have it. So either it's going to come from your personal pocket or investors. But after 25 years, if you can't get 5,000
They're
people,
not marketing the same way.
they don't
It's
have the
not-
money to do
no,
it.
it's not the same. But it's not the same, Roderick.
So explain why. You're still not explaining why it's not the
Because
same.
the investment that any of the people in the
Who's
foundation,
the people?
any of the presidents, any of them at all, anyone, owners or whatever, they're not investing the same money in females. Completely not. It's the same thing with the soccer. They had to actually fight for equality. So still in the WNBA, you know,
The
here it
players
is.
are fighting. I agree with. There's nothing that you're not saying anything wrong. You and John are not saying anything wrong, right? That the
It's
money,
not going to be equal if they don't
But-
invest the
but-
same
but
amount.
no.
Marketing is. Mm-mm.
their money. You can't. It doesn't make a difference. I could invest $1 million and lose it because okay. So let's go to baseball. Let's go to baseball, right? Tampa Bay has won the World Series a couple of times. The Florida Marlins have won the World Series a couple of times.
Florida is different from the Tampa Bay Devil Rays. Please be
I know,
correct,
okay,
Roger.
right. So when we say Florida, we talk about the Marlins was Miami. When we say Tampa Bay, we talk about Northern Florida because Florida has two teams: Tampa Bay Devil Rays and the Miami Marlins. Right? These two teams do not have the fan base in Major League Baseball. So every year they develop good players, right? Good players, and they have to sell them off, trade them to this team, that have the economic. Boston, New York, and certain other areas have the fan base, right? At the Yankee Mets game last night, there were almost 50,000 people at the game.
Right.
Right? They had the fan base to sell. You know how much a ticket was to go to the Yankee game last night? $127 for a
So let me ask you a question, Roderick. What money comes in first? Your sponsorship or your ticket sales?
both. Right? Both. Because based upon your outreach, you can tell the sponsors what you can and cannot do. Right? So
Go ahead.
at the onset, but you notice what I said? After 25 years,
You're given numbers, but the thing is, the same investment is not made. So it's pointless.
you're still blaming the investors. That's what you're doing. You're blaming the investors.
Wait. Is it being promoted the same way like the NBA?
It's on Yes Network. They
Yes
put it on-
Network.
Hold on, listen. The Yankees are on Yes Network. The Nets are on Yes Network. That's the Liberty I'm talking about. They go on MSG, just like the Yankee game was last night. They go on TNT, just like the NBA. They go on one of the locals. I don't remember if it's CBS, NBC, or ABC. I don't remember which one. They go on that, right? They have the same outlet, NBA TV. They're on it, right? But the fan support is not there. No matter which net, so they have all of those. Now, I'm not going to give you $1 million if I don't see $1 million on my return. That's what the issue is. So in order for this to work, both parties,
I want to see the same amount of marketing for both.
it cannot be the same amount of marketing because how
yeah.
can you have the same amount of marketing if you don't have the same amount of
Well, guess what? If you start, one was there, established before the other.
What do you mean?
The NBA was established way before the WNBA.
Agreed.
Okay, so
I mean, by the way, they had a similar league,
right, like she
but
is.
the league had to fold, right? So the league had to
They
fold.
merged them and they put.
No, they
caps on
folded.
everything.
They folded, merged, because they didn't have the support. Women basketball in America is just not in. But listen, you go to Russia, you go to Italy, you go to Greece, right? You go to Europe, you go to China, it's supported differently. America doesn't support WNBA. It does not. Just like America doesn't support soccer, they don't support hockey is their sport, and they don't even support it. Hockey is an American sport. America, Canada, and Russia. Those are the three countries that really play hockey, and it's not supported here.
Yeah, right.
What sports are supported here? Football, baseball, and basketball. That's it. Everything else, you have dribs and drab in every other sport, right? But you ask for it. If you ask for something, support it. You know. But anyway, let's go back to the two questions. There were two comments. We're just going to touch on it briefly. Monet wrote, Monday isn't the first day. I'm going to look it up now. Warren asked, wait, let's go back. Also remember, this is the type of, oh no, that's not it. Who decided what the first day was? Monday isn't the first day. I'm going to look it up. James wrote, he's right. Each domination has a slightly different validation of God. That's in response to something that I made with the 46,000. It doesn't say man divides the days. Exactly. Right. Greetings to you, Empress Danielle. What else is up here? Is there some specific sign that dictates the days of the week? No. So what I understood, and somebody out there, please correct me, Joanne, John, if you hear anything differently. The Romans devised the days and call the days of the week what the days are, right? So the Roman divide. So all the names of the days are Latin-derived words, I think, except for Monday, right? Monday's Lundi, Lunes, all with Lu. I'm not sure how it says this in if you look up how it says in Romanian, and look at Latin for Monday, see what the root of that is, or look up Latin for the days of the week. So all of those different days, and then it came about at that time to clearly have a demarcation of the days.
Okay.
Right? So that's my understanding of where the days come from. Let's look at there are a couple other comments up here. This is a time when people challenge the traditional dynamics. People want autonomy, the abstract of change. Tradition means following a discipline. I'm not sure what you mean by that, James. So can you explain that comment that you made a little bit earlier? Unless one of you guys want to tackle that. This is the time where people challenge traditional dynamics. People want autonomy, the abstract of change. Tradition means following a discipline. Anybody want to tackle that or have James explain? All right, Andre says, okay. The first day of the week depends on your religion. Exactly. That's correct. That is actually 100% correct. And depends on your interpretation of the Bible. Absolutely. Hello, Dr. Brian from James. This is correct. Hello, John, James from James as well. Okay, this is correct. So at the end of the day, going back to that, we just, it's hard. So while we're on the subject of religion, what do you think of what's going on with Lamar Miller Whitehead? John, that's your boy. What's going on?
First of all, before we get into that, first of all, I'm glad that him, his wife, and the parishioners are okay. There's nothing sacred anymore. For someone to come in the middle of a church service to rob the pastor, whether the pastor's flamboyant or not, it's irrespective. It's the house of God, and there's some level of respect that you have to have. There's no level of respect that people have no more for religion and in our houses of worship. So I feel horrible what transpired to the minister and his wife and their flock. But it comes down to the lack of moral, spiritual respect that we have for the church.
Doc?
I agree wholeheartedly that people have lost all respect for anything. There's no fear in to feel that, hey, when I saw the video last week, I said, oh my God, this is what they actually did in Haiti not too long ago when they kidnapped, a priest. And how do we go from being a nation, a country, reverence, God and God we trust or whatever, to one that they don't care. They walk in, they shoot you. They walk in, people don't like you. Too many crimes are happening in the house of God. It's unfortunate because now already people were on edge about going to church because of COVID. Now another fear, safety. With recent crime, people going into the church and just shooting up. Thank God that was not the end of that story. But it also left a horrible taste in people's mouth or people's mind in going back to church. You might think twice to say, hey, you know what? Maybe I might not go and visit church. Maybe I'll watch it online. So there's a struggle already getting people back in the house of God. Being comfortable, watching it from your home or whatever, to collaborate and come together as a community is hard. A lot of pastors are finding it hard for individuals to go back to business as usual, but this adds extra fire underneath. Now, on another end, thank God his child was okay and everything else. The guy who was sitting on the corner, who did not move, who just froze.
What do you mean? What corner?
The corner.
Explain to the audience what you're talking about when you say corner.
All right. So while the pastor was laying out, there was a gentleman sitting on a chair and was like in a position as a statue.
A drunken stupor. People react differently when they're panicking, though.
Yeah, but
you're saying it as a Monday morning quarterback. When you sit there with somebody with a gun and you have some brown stuff in your pants, it's a little bit different when you're sitting there, right? So you can't blame him too much. People freak out.
No. But you figure you see a gun, you hit the floor, not just continue to sit like.
Well, sometimes, Dr. Bryant, people are so startled that they just freeze, and it's just like they can't believe that this is happening. You hear it all the time, but when it's actually happening to you, you freeze, you panic. And then thank God that there wasn't a parishioner in there who was carrying a firearm, because it could have been a serious massacre that transpired.
There was a parishioner in there with a firearm? I didn't see that part.
No, I said if there was a parishioner in there with a firearm, it could have been far, far worse.
Yeah.
So
I'm surprised.
Wait, go back. I am a religious person.
Mm-hmm.
Full disclosure, ladies and gentlemen. Right? I believe strongly, and I believe what I'm about to say, I'm talking on two sides of my mouth.
As usual.
But John, I'm not being hypocritical, right? But
you're being hypercritical.
No, because we are also part of the media, right? Who's given this so it's not our personal view. So I want to make sure I disclose that, right? I want to make sure I disclose that before I say anything else. Let's flip the script a little bit. Why is there a pastor who's supposed to be serving the flock? We hear different articles. Some says close to $1 million. Some says $500,000. Whatever the case is. If you have parishioners who are suffering, why do you have and you floss your Bentley, your Rolls Royce, your $500,000 worth of chain? Why do you have that kind of you have that kind of merchandise flaunting with your congregants when your congregants don't have nothing?
What does that have to do with serving God and
administering
the word of God? What does that have to do with anything?
Again, I'm putting the question out there. Don't well, you're throwing up. Hey, audience, you're the one who asked me these questions, so don't put me on the spot now. You called me up, you asked me this question. Don't put me out there like that. Answer back. The question is, does he have the right to do what he wants? That's what John put back.
Why not?
I'm not saying
first of all, one, you don't know how this gentleman acquired whatever he acquired. God does not say you do not have to acquire riches. God's concern is that you have a relationship with
What
him.
the scripture verse that said it's easier for
You have a relationship with him,
no,
and you are
what happened to the
disciple and
scripture verse?
able to administer his word to others.
What happened to the scripture verse that said it's easier for a poor man than a rich man into what is it? A poor man. I'm always missing the scripture verse, but I hate when I do that. But through the eye of a needle than for a rich man to enter the gates of heaven. Oh, I'm misquoting, so please, when you look it up, Andre, you want to look up the right words so I don't say the wrong words there. Rich man enter into heaven, right? What happened to that scripture? That's an example.
What are you talking about, Mr. Dave?
I'm saying that's an example of where it asked to remain humble.
So who says he's not humble? Just because he
John,
has a whole bunch
no,
of
he's
Jews
not humble. He's not humble.
that he's not humble?
He is not humble. He is
John-
not humble. He is nowhere near humble.
Why
And
is that not being humble?
Because I've not seen a video, right, on humility. I've not seen one. And don't tell me all the videos are lying. That's not an indication of
Humility.
By the way, the Empress wrote this.
Humility.
John, look. You see it? John, you're a hypocrite.
Why am I? Oh, Empress. I am not a hypocrite. I am. God is concerned about one thing and one thing only. You have a relationship with him. By having that relationship with him.
We're making. That's not the
What?
argument I'm asking. The question is, right? So I've even heard that it was staged. Now I'm not going to go that far. I'm not going to go that far. That said it was staged. I don't know the man like that. I mean, I don't know how it said that he spent 5 years in jail. He was sentenced to 5 years, and he came out when he formed the church in 2013 in the article I just read. I don't know him from Adam, right? And
So don't judge him. If you don't know him, don't judge him.
I'm not judging him. I'm not judging him because I was just about to say, right? He served his time. He's out and he's doing what he needs to do. So therefore, you can't judge him on what might or might not have been his past. You can't judge him for that because he's still a human being, right? So here's the scripture, John. Here's the scripture. It's easier for a camel to go through the eye of a needle than for a rich man to enter into the kingdom of heaven.
What does that have to do with anything?
Exactly. Hello, Dr. Brian. Hello,
That's what John was
somebody.
saying. John was talking about his
No. God is not telling you to be poor. You know, that's not. I hate when people say, you know, hey, you're not humble. I hate the fact that people feel or associate being broke, poor, busted, disgusted as being a Christian. That is not part of being a Christian.
Good combo. I like this.
Yeah, Doc. Come on, Doc.
Yeah,
Get
Doc, I'm
them.
listening.
Get them, Doc.
Put them in the right place. I'm listening.
No, because the thing is,
Hey. Hold on.
What?
You came with me with a nice, beautiful tone. And all of a sudden you just sat back in your chair. Come on, man. Sit forward. And come back. Go ahead. We're listening.
so there are different types of pastors. There's some prosperity, there's some for this, some for that. But guess what? Education is more important than anything. You know, if you are successful and you're doing what you have to do, you're following whatever God tell you to do, you're doing your tithes, you're doing your offering or whatever, and you're making money, it's not a sin. It's not a sin.
So what happened to sin is money is the root of all evil.
The love of money is the root of
That's
all
the
evil.
thing. That message.
So when you see a video of him showing his Porsche Cayenne, his Bentley, his estate, as he called it, the Whitehead estate, when he's showing his Gucci chain and his Gucci outfit and his
Poor
Gucci
is about
glasses.
go back.
So hold on, hey, Roderick. So
I'm asking you.
So Roger. So
Poor
why
is
you don't ask the same?
No,
Hold on. So why aren't the same questions asked of Joel Osteen?
I asked the same question and Creflo
Hold on.
Dollar.
Why don't
I
I
asked
ask
the same
it?
thing too.
Hold on.
Joel Osteen and Creflo Dollar. I do ask it. I ask it. Because they're poor people, they're people dying. Let me tell you something. Benny Hinn is another example. Right? What I'm saying, this is me. And Joanne, this is where I'm not playing no devil advocate here. I have no anger with somebody making money.
Mhm.
What I am will be upset about is that if you're sitting up here, right,
Mm-hmm.
and you have a congregant who's destituted, and you're sitting up here. I'm not talking about somebody who just comes to church because they think that you have money and want you to spend money on them. I'm not talking about a real congregant, right? Because people do follow the money, right? They think that you have money and they come hang out with you because they think you have money, right? John, you always hanging out with me because you think I have money when I want your money, right? John, look up, right? So, but the fact is, the Bible. I don't think that you should. I don't think that you should live off the backs of your congregant. That's where.
How do you know?
And I'm not saying he is. I'm not saying he is. I don't know him. I don't
So
know
then
him.
don't make that statement then.
But that's my statement in that regard, is to say that this is my belief. It's not about him because I don't know him. So I don't know.
So if you don't know him, don't judge him then.
I'm not judging him. I'm asking a question. I'm not judging him. I didn't say he shouldn't wear the chain. I didn't say he shouldn't have it. I didn't say he shouldn't have his Bentley. But I'm saying this is the perception that's really there. And remember,
here's the thing.
perception drives things more than the reality. You know that.
But also you have to be mindful of where you are. You are not, in Brooklyn, there's been a high level of crime. Queens, there's been a high level of crime. So if you're going to
here go fearmongering.
go
That's when you were.
and you're wearing $500,000 worth of things, you best believe you need to have security. So
Say it again.
Security.
Oh, so you saying you should have a bodyguard?
Of course. Nowadays, with people busting into all types of church and doing all types of things, this is where you need to have security. Where's your armor guard? Where's your right-hand people who could jump up?
Well, the armor bearer, according to New York City, couldn't have a gun anyway to protect him. So you're saying hire legal all through the police officer?
Somebody come through the door and nobody notice anything? Nah. Mm-mm.
Remember, churches. I don't know if I agree with that though, Joe.
No.
Hold on, hear me out. I think in this particular churches have open door. It's hard to say.
Yes, you have open door, but if you come in masked up, you wouldn't pass the second row. So you wouldn't.
Wait, stop. How are they going to stop them?
Well, you need to have the right people there.
So are you saying okay to have a gun?
I didn't say why everything has to be a gun.
Because what else are we going to protect them with? They came with guns. What are they going to protect them with?
Me call me gunman.
What are they going to protect them with? Their fingers? Seriously? If you can't, somebody has a gun and you have fingers, who's going to be gone? The person with the gun or the person with the fingers?
That's why you got to have gunmen sitting at the table.
And that's what you need to protect them with. That's why you need to change the laws. So that's a whole different topic. I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just saying when you ask for one thing, know that there's something else on the other side. Right?
So now you're saying that every church should have an armed person?
But that's what you just said. Not what I said. That's what you just said.
I didn't say arm.
But what, at the end of the day, you don't have to say arm. What are you going to protect somebody from when they have a gun? What are you going to protect them with? Words? Stop. Put down the gun. Right? What does Patricia? It's called church in a prosperous or in prosperity. When the shoe is on the wrong foot, it hurts. Not sure.
Elaborate a little bit.
Elaborate. Are you saying that part of the church is prosperous and the other part is not? And then are you saying the congregant who's not prosperous, it hurts when one? Explain. Like, a couple of comments out there, ladies and gentlemen. We're not 100% certain as to what the comment is about. James wrote, I can't.
And wouldn't say he isn't humbled by what he wears. Humbleness comes from the heart. Jesus looked like a bum, but his humbleness won people over. He exemplified it.
I think, okay, so one could also argue, if you're not religious, that was his way to gain the hearts of man. Right? So,
rich and everything.
Right.
People feel like most people were laughing at this guy when they saw that on TV, and then know the way how most people were laughing at this guy when
Laughing
he
at
showed
whom?
the pastor, the
Bishop Whitehead?
Yeah, and so I agree that he has his right to wear what he want to wear.
Hmm.
He has the right to wear what he want to wear. He worked for it, as he spoke a lot in his TikToks and the other videos and everything, right? It seemed like he really genuinely enjoys doing the preaching, but also your appearance, right? So maybe even his congregation understand what's happening, understand where it's coming from, but outside people have no idea. If you had to choose between pride and humility, most people are gonna say he's very proud, right? And so it's just like when you're humble, it's not that you necessarily look poor and broken down, but it's like you recognize that most people may not be in that position, and so you want other people you want to win people over at the same time, right? You think about
You're talking about connect with them.
connect with them in a sense. So when you look like you're way up there, it's like, huh? Who you? Like think about people who leave quote unquote their home, right? Like or the hood or whatever one may call it. And some of them when they try to come back, like some of the people look at them like, oh, you're big shot now, right? It's kind of hard to win the people when you don't connect with them, you don't necessarily relate to them. Think about yourself when you're as a teacher, when you're in the classroom, you have to try and connect with the students. Them, if you come without some sort of connection, most of the time the kids don't even want to hear what you got to say.
So the other thing that I'm going to add on to that, because at one point I was a teacher and administrator, right? And I bring that up from time to time. When you're teaching, right? When you're teaching, and Jesus Christ was a teacher. That's what he was first, right?
Mhm.
Above all things, right? Teacher and a mentor. When you're teaching, you do not teach to the A students and you do not teach to the F students, right? You have to teach to the students who to bring them up while maintaining those that are high. Am I correct?
Correct.
Right? So if you're posing one end, what happened to everybody that's underneath that end and at the bottom, or vice versa? If I'm only teaching to the students who are not passing their classes, what happened to the students who are doing extremely well? You're going to lose them because the work is not challenging.
Right.
Right? Doc, I think you're frozen. Are you frozen? Oh, no. Okay. Right? And so that's part of that conversation, right? So we're not happy. A couple of years ago, remember they killed those 49 members in the church?
Mm-hmm.
And they came to church and do it. So the church, and a couple months ago,
There's been a lot of robberies in the church. Catholic Church, they're busting in all types of
No
stealing.
respect. No
Yeah.
respect.
wait. I got a text. So I'm gonna address the text out loud on the air. I think, Empress, right? I think, Empress, that I don't know. We're not being hypocritical. I would disagree with that. You made a comment already. We're entitled. Everybody, you're gonna have to say that we're all entitled to a
Opinion.
perspective, right? A perspective, right? So the perspective might not be yours, but it's all of ours. So wherever they're wrong in there, where you think that, state your opinion. Like, state your opinion. If you feel that there's a comment in there that you don't like, state it. I don't think that it's fair that Dr. Bryant, Roderick, or John took on this for the pastor. Maybe they should have said that. State it. It's not. I don't
What?
think
A different opinion? I don't know what to think overall. So I have mixed feelings about everything. But I think he should always have any church, and every church nowadays, especially with the culture and how everything is, must have security. That
Okay,
is
or which, you know what? And going back to Empress, which part you feel is hypercritical, right? I'm using John's word. Hypocritical. John, you made me say that. Right? Which part is hypocritical? Yeah, which part? Is it the armed guard? Is it the fact that he's supposed to have the jewelry? Is he that he's not humble? He should be able to do what he wants. Which part? Tell us so we know, so that we can address it. We're talking. We're sharing the views of different people,
yeah.
right? Because people have they know we have a radio show, We talk on the air.
But you know what?
I'm just saying. I'm just saying that people come to us with different perspective. So this is one perspective that they have come to us with. So now you and I didn't speak prior. So give us your perspective. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's what I'm telling you, Empress. So tell us your perspective on this whole situation. What do you think? Yes.
So I don't know the man. I can't judge him, but I don't understand what would have, going to church with almost $500,000 worth of jewelry to come and preach. I don't know. I'm not in that mindset. I don't think I'll ever be in that mindset in regards to, hey, you know what? I'm just going to do whatever. I think overall, I don't want to attract certain attention. So I would be mindful of my appearance.
So I think there's three things there. Four things.
Experiences, man. Experiences.
Right? Four things. Mm-hmm. One, arrogance. Right? I can do what I want. That's arrogance. If I got it, show it, do it. It's up to me. Arrogance. That's one. Mm-hmm. Two, he could be saying to the congregation, right? You can do this too. Exactly. Mm-hmm. So you could say, I am somebody mentioned that the humbleness and the exemplar of humbleness, right? So if I'm telling you to do it, I'm showing you why you should do it. So that's two, right? I talk about arrogance. I can do what I want. That's two. Three, I'm in my own sanctuary. Who dare will come in here and attack me, right? And four, it's mine. If it's mine, hey, I earned it. It's mine. I should be able to do. Remember, one thing about America says I should be able to do what I want. I don't care about the repercussions, right? So whether I'm going to hurt you, I should still be able to do what I want. Because I don't care if I'm going to hurt you. I'm doing me. You get me? So I think for those four reasons, that's one of the reasons.
John, what are your thoughts?
You're muted, John.
My thoughts are this: as long as you are espousing the word of God, you are saving souls, you are enhancing their relationship with God, irrespective of whether you wear $10 million worth of jewelry or you wear $1 worth of jewelry. As long as you are abiding by those commandments and have that relationship with God, you are a disciple to espouse the word. And that's what I look at. I don't look at a person's outward appearance and what they wear. I look what's coming from their mouth. What is the message that they're delivering to the congregation? And everybody talks about what are the congregants saying about this man?
That's true. I want to add one thing to it, and then we got to move on to a topic. And this is my last point. And if you guys have a last point to add it, what happens to the pastor who wears the snakeskin shoes, the $1,000 suits that the congregants might not know it's $1,000 shoes, pair of shoes, or $1,000 pair of suits, and they're wearing a different suit every week? It's still a lot of money, but it's not readily visible. So I think it goes back to flashy versus not flashy.
So here's the thing. One conversation I was having with an individual yesterday. When you're wealthy, you don't have to do all that. You're very silent in the way that you carry yourself. You're very silent in the way that you move around. Yeah, you can have the best cars or whatever, but the thing is, you don't have to go overboard to show, hey, I made it. That, hey, when you're about to get on your jet or your plane, then people know you're wealthy. When you are very flashy, you become a target. And unfortunately, that's what, he's a target.
John,
and that's the sad part about it.
I thought you were done, Joe. John, your final word on this topic so we could move on?
You're muted.
I said my piece. I said my piece with respect to the pastor or the bishop, and we just gotta, we as a people, just stop getting caught up in what's so obvious. Obvious meaning you're caught by the $400 million worth of jewelry. You know, you're missing the point here. The point is that there is no safety net no longer. The church is not considered holy grounds anymore by individuals.
That is true.
And that
Is
is the
problem.
point
Mhm.
that
So,
needs to be taken. There is no fear. They have no fear of the police, and now they have no fear of God by entering his home and doing what they did.
all right, so I'm going to finish this
And
comment.
that's what we call, those are we call disciples of the devil, who are there just to create destruction and most of all destroy the spiritual embodiment of the church.
I want to go back one thing. I'm just going to finish with this comment. Just to let all of our guests know out there, you send me a text. I appreciate it. Thank you, Margaret, for the thumbs up on that. We appreciate that. I'm Empress. We appreciate all your comments because you are very important to the show. You watch it regularly. So all I want to write it up there. We listen. We're going to finish with this last comment and we're going to have to go on to the next topic, which is let's do this first. Dr. Black Buddhaphili or Butterfly. Oh, Black Buddhafly. Okay, I got it. Your fly. I get it. Some congregants want their pastor to look good. Agreed. I think that's what John is saying. Nothing wrong with that. That's exactly what John is saying. The arrogance that comes through some of his video is a tad bit much, which is what yeah, I got a butterfly. I got it. That's what Andre and Empress are saying. And right. And if you're a traditional Christian, right, it's a tad much. If you're traditional Orthodox Christian, the progressive, it's a different ideology. Let's move on. I don't want to miss. We have three advertisement that I need to go through. One, before I go to the advertisement though, actually let's do the commercial first. One, I'll do the verbal. One is just to give a shout out to our King of Jerk on Utica and Glenwood, to make sure that you come out, you enjoy what is it, jerk chicken and jerk pork, John? So they have there, right? And I think they also have roast corn.
Jerk chicken, jerk pork, roast corn.
Yeah, right. And so you can come out and enjoy it. Excellent cooked. So shout out to the King of Jerk. We're also brought to you by the single parent. You got it? Tell me when you're ready. All right. So also, and it's going to come back up in the show. In Jamaica, in America, there is a special program to buy some supplies. Let me look this up. Actually, a couple of them. So let me get through all of these.
Yeah, this is back to school time.
Yeah, back to school time. So the Dear Child Foundation back to school event, and that they're hosting an event for back to school, and that will be Andre. This one, you got it. Raygon presents a back to school charity cookout, which is going to be on Saturday from 12 until. Ticket prices are $25. The menu includes jerk chicken, oxtail, escabeche fish, pepper shrimp, steamed fish, festival green, and the sides. I'm not going to go through all of that. It's at 903 to 302 Kings Highway in the backyard. That's 9302 Kings Highway. Please go out and support on a back to school giveaway as they raise money for children in need of school supplies in the West Indies. Ready? Our program is brought to you by the Single Parent University, where as single parents, you can get what you need to help to support you as a parent, whether you are, as we spoke about earlier, whether you are a foster, adoptive, biological step, whatever parent you are, you're a single parent, you're taking care of a child, please come out to the Single Parent University. It has open admissions or roll-in admissions, depending on what you're familiar with, where you talk about personal development, mindful parenting, support seminar, financial management, nutrition, and wellness. There's free childcare, free transportation. You got a social support hub for conversation to help you along, help with resume and cover letter, and help you through career development or career exploration. And if you need some legal consulting, depending on what it is, they can offer that. Please contact the Single Parent University, 646-779-6767. And the last thing, just want to point out that the 67th Precinct and the NYPD, they're hosting an event on Saturday, right? They're hosting an event on Saturday.
Is it this Saturday?
Wait, well, let me double check the date. Oh no, can't do that one. Disregard that one. Right, so disregard that one. So on the back end, John, a guest of ours who was on our show last year, something just egregious happened, and on Joanne, one of Joanne's topic, besides the deprivation of education for our youth, is the violence in our community. And when she hears this topic, it makes the hair in her, as a proverbial hair in the neck stands, because it's so hated, and we all hate it. And to know that a young man who ran for bar president last year did very well in the run-in for a first-time candidate, lost his mom on Saturday, and lost his mom on charitable works. Right, he lost his mom on charitable work, and we're talking about none other than Kyrie Edwards, whose mother was slain by somebody who she took in to help him up. There are a number of issues in there that we're going to talk about, some of them in a minute. But our condolences goes out to Kyrie Edwards and the loss of his mom, Eleanor Bernard, who I've known for for close to 20 years, and she's a very good person, and she has a good heart. One of the only woman-owned construction companies in New York State, for a matter of fact. In construction business, it's hard to find women at the helm doing their thing. So, Kyrie, I just want to make sure that you understand that we on the show, we are praying for your family, praying for comfort, and the Village Radio Talk Show is offering up their condolences to you, your sibling, and your kids, because hey, it's tough, and especially to know that your mother didn't go out as God would want her to go out on her own terms, but to know that her life was snubbed from her.
Helping someone out, that part is the part that hurts. I don't believe that people should attack, especially elderly folks. Elderly folks, we're supposed to be protecting them. And when people take advantage of those who are not able to, be as sharp as they used to be, especially when they open up their heart, homes, and, spend time with you, that is something that is beyond tragic. And one thing he mentioned, I was watching the news, Kyrie, and he mentioned that the reason why he got into politics was because of his mom and the way that she was a giving individual. So it's unfortunate that she passed away giving again. So people tend to take advantage of a given heart. So, our condolences, and I hope that this doesn't stop that legacy. It sucks the air out of you, but her legacy must continue, especially being someone who's so powerful. Like you mentioned, Roderick, being a female in the construction industry. So it just can't go out silently like that. No.
Just to get it, the guy's a piece of shit. To do that to a woman who took you in and gave you an opportunity to excel, it just shows you how the devil comes in so many different shapes, sizes, and personalities.
Right.
This is a woman who did a lot for minority and women-owned businesses in the construction field. They started the minority and women in business organizations that used to be housed there at the Navy Yard, in which they were able to get the city and the state to provide minorities certain contracts on jobs to give them an opportunity to grab at that American dream. But it just shows you the mindset of twisted individual to do something like that to a woman who endeared herself to you. But you know, it is what it is. The only thing we have is, you know, her legacy. Her legacy will continue to live on through her children and those in which the projects, like, you know, one of our studios right next to a doctor's office that she built on Foster and Utica, that she built for the doctor. So Dr. Flood that she built for. So it's pretty much, you know, life will continue on, but we have to make sure that her legacy lives on too.
That is
So
true.
my condolences goes out to, you know, the Bernard family, the Edwards family, to him and his sister, because this is not easy.
No.
When, you know, although the mother had dementia, you know, at some point in time, you're looking at a natural death. You're not looking at a death caused by the hands of a sadistic individual who will get what he deserves, you know, because, you know, if that was my mom, I don't know, he wouldn't even make it to the courtroom. But that's another issue for another day.
You know, John, I'm going to defer to you in this comment, right? That I'm about to make. Sometimes I hate being a Democrat. And the reason why I'm going to defer to you is that, and John, by the way, before I forget, you're going to start putting $10 in the money jar, all right? $10 in the money jar. Although that one I'm going to excuse because he was really a piece of crap.
Oh, shit. More money?
He was released. This is why in a Republican state, he was not going to see the light of day. 17 times, according to the article, I don't remember which article it was, 17, that he was released from jail. 17 times. Right?
For what? For what, Roger? For what? 17 times for what?
It
You know,
doesn't matter. He's a career criminal.
Right, Roger. No, my brother.
That's what I said. I'm going to defer to you.
You cannot say
Wait,
17
hold on. That's why I said I'm deferring to you because the Republican.
All right, I'll watch my language, Andre. Okay.
Right. The Republican in me is stating that he should not be free. That's the Republican me. That's what
Keep the Republican in you.
All right, go ahead. Tell me why I'm wrong.
Because you know what, Roger? Every case is different. Every circumstances is different. You don't know why this man. Oh, you don't know why this man was. You know, let me just tell you something. After even speaking to Miss Carrie Edwards, he said this gentleman, they had no inclination. Just Tuesday, before they were going on this trip with his family, the man had brought the mother to his house to come and talk. No inclination whatsoever that the mother was being abused. None.
Because the mother also, you know, as it said in the paper, she was suffering from dementia for the last 4 years. I understand that.
So, my brother, before we jump to conclusions,
don't judge, right?
Let's hear all the facts, because now you hear the woman, she fell down the stairs. So, you know what? Let's just wait and see. No rush to judgment. We want to rush to judgment because this person is dear to us. But may I remind everybody, the Central Park jogger case, we all rushed to judgment, and later on these young men were innocent. I'm not saying that's here, but let's wait till we get all the facts together.
I hear you, but I don't think it's whether or not they perceive. Like I don't know. It's kind of, I don't know, John. I don't know. It's like saying that you're gonna put your daughter, if you know this person, if you knew that this person was a 17-time convict of something, that you're gonna 17 times of some, whether it's pet, whether it's drugs, whether it's whatever it is. Now it might not get to a violent outburst, but 7-time convict of drugs, of petty larceny, of whatever it is, would you want to put your child around that person? Joanne? I'm not chastising them, and I'm not blaming them because she's in good faith. She's trying to give a helping hand.
Right.
I'm just thinking, would I let this person out of jail? Because would I want this person around my kids? I always put things in perspective of my kids.
But here's the thing. Not everybody know that someone's been arrested 17 times. So you think that's a public record?
Again, I'm not talking about from Kyrie and Eleanor's
Overall, how do you know?
The judge that let him free. If you're the judge, knowing, would I want this person around my kids when I'm setting them out? Because you're right, they might not know. And by the way, a killer could live in your house, but because it's your kid, it's your nephew, it's your niece, it's your this, you believe that it will never happen to you. So you're going to we are automatically, human nature, going to give a person a chance because we don't expect them to turn the rod on us. What do we say? Oh, they're not thief from everybody, but they're not going to thief from me because I know they're ins and out, and they turn around and steal from you because you don't expect it. So take away our blinders for us and put it onto the judge. If I am the judge, would I want that person around my child? That's the question when I said you could go free. Because she's saying, I'm going to give them a second chance. Just a thought. Just a thought. What would you do as a judge? Do you still go on the same concept, John? John. Joanne, what do you think? You still go on the same concept as a judge? Not as the person, as the judge.
A history of going in and out?
Yeah, you're the judge, and the person coming in front of you 17 times, they've been arrested. Well, 16 times, and then the 17th time they were let free. So, do you still go back? You're the judge. You're not Eleanor, you're not Kyrie. Because we are human. We forgive. Human forgive. That's what we try to do.
John, take that question.
Huh?
John, take that question.
Why you can't take it?
Can you repeat the question?
You're the judge. You are the judge. Not Kyrie, not his mom, not his family. As human beings, we forgive. Right? We have a natural tendency that we want to forgive. Okay? And we are trusting of people to a large extent. You are now the judge, and this person comes up in front of you. You're the judge. You let him go?
I would recuse myself because my personal relationship with his mother and the family. I would recuse myself.
Well, you're the judge. I'm not talking. Come on, we know human.
I'm just telling you, I will recuse myself because I'm too close to be affiliated with the family.
That's a cop-out answer.
That's not a cop-out answer.
That is. I'm not asking you to make a judgment what the family did. They did what they did in their kind heart. That's who the person was. I'm talking about you're the judge making the decision.
What decision am I making?
Whether to let that person out of jail or not.
Well,
I'm not put it this way. I'm not letting that individual out of jail because I'm dealing with a homicide. So of course I'm going to remand him.
No, before he committed the homicide.
Before he committed the homicide, I need to know why is he before me? And I need to know the history of these criminal acts.
I think one of the issues for me is that they're letting so many people out, right? They're letting so many people out of jail. And then I too many times, it's kind of like, I'm going back to what Dr. Brian talked about, right? Where the safety in the subway. And one time is too many, right? One time is too many. So too many times you hear people get out, they were serving this time, they come out and they commit a heinous crime. That's what I'm going off the back of my head. But again, that's the Republican side of me.
I have to go backwards a little because I just remember you're mentioning this. This is a leader. She's a leader in the community no matter what. You know, people will show you different faces and different side. And as a person who have contribute so much to society, just so much to this community or whatever, you're always going to be, in spite of the fact that, hey, you know, you're you fall back, you're slowing down or whatever, but you always have to be careful. I have to go back to that. We always have to be careful. And this also ties back, I'm going back to the pastor, but also our leaders. Because look what happened to the president, the prime minister of Japan. So nowadays we don't know where people are, that automatically you don't know if you're a target. And
You
so
don't know the hearts of man. That's true.
yeah. So just, you know, overall, just be careful and just be careful out there. That's all.
Makes sense. Makes
That's
sense.
all. So leaders, pastors, whoever you are, community leaders, even if you actually are slowing down, just keep an eye out on our leaders because they are so valuable, so important. We don't want people to take advantage of that. We don't want people to take, you know, just because you're upset, you go on attack mode and you go towards, you know, hey, eliminating individuals. So you don't know what causes individuals to snap, but just be your brother's keepers.
I think just to add one more thing to that conversation there on the leaders component, and it's not just leaders; it's everywhere, right? It's
Mhm.
the execution
Mhm.
of people. When you talk about Shinzo Abe from Japan a couple of weeks ago, that was killed
Mhm.
last
Right.
year. Last year, Moises
Haiti.
from Haiti. We're talking about the pastor Miller, Bishop Miller Whitehead, and we talk about the actually 49 people that were killed a few years ago in the church in school, right? In school
Right.
where 21 people were killed. Um, you know, we can't blame the victim, right? We can't
Right.
blame, right? We can't
They come
blame
up
the
and
victim because it's not the victim, right? And you know, part of that when it comes to the judge, I'm upset because you're given an opportunity to create law and order, and in this case, the system failed. When
the
it,
system has been failing for a while. We need to make changes to that wonderful law that's in place, bail reform. It's a crap of garbage. And unfortunately, people are getting arrested and just coming right back out the same time. Look at those teenagers who attacked the police officer this week. You know, boom. They were attacking, beating up police officer, and guess what? They got out the very next day, the same day. So there is a big hole in the system.
Hey Doc, I want you know that I commend that police officer. I really commend that police officer using the restraint that they use and not pulling their firearm out on that young man.
Yeah.
we
I
don't hear about we don't hear about that side, John.
we don't hear about that and the restraint that he practiced, you know, and then that young man being, I mean, it just shows you the lack of respect, irrespective of whether the cop may have initiated something. There's no level of respect, no
Yeah.
level of respect for law enforcement, no level of respect for the church, no level of respect for our political leaders. Just it's total anarchy that has been going on in our streets here.
Yeah.
And it's one-sided. I think we were talking. I don't know if we were talking about it in our team meeting or we spoke about it on air. Oh wait. Let's just finish up and say again, Carrie, we just offering up our condolences to you and your family. Please do let us know when the services and those and everything is coming down for this stalwart of a woman in our New York City, Central Brooklyn area as well. So on the topic of that, it's we're quick. Two things I'm upset about, and I said I cannot support Black Lives Matter. I just can't do it. I can't do it anymore. I cannot do it until there is a fair shake on what's happening with our Black people.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't follow the bandwagon and only jump on media worthy things,
Yes.
right? Because at the same time, the people in our community are dying.
Yes.
As a chair of the community board, I'm getting so many. On Tuesday, by the way, that reminds me, National Night Out on if this the nationwide National Night Out on
Where's that?
Tuesday, the first Tuesday of every month. See your local precinct to find out where National Night Out is for you, and then so people come out, and there's a time for the community to bond with individuals, understand certain things that could happen to you and in your community. So these two come out next week, Tuesday, for National Night Out. I can't support Black Lives Matter because you're not addressing the violence in our community. You're addressing what you want to address, police brutality. If that's what you want, then don't call it Black Lives Matter. Call it police brutality. Come out with police brutality. That's what you need to call it. We come out with police brutality. I can support that because that's a separate cause. But when my young men and young women are killing each other on the streets, I can only hear from you. I can only hear from you. I didn't hear a peep out of Black Lives Matter when 12-year-old Cade Ashton Tyler Lewin was killed. I did not hear a peep. And he was 12. When the 11-year-old girl in the Bronx was killed by a drive-by by a 15-year-old, I didn't hear a peep. When the 4 people were shot over there in the 90s, I didn't hear a peep. But when the guy got 60 shots from the police, I heard y'all come out. So you compared one life to 3 lives of an innocent 11 and an innocent 12. But you don't say nothing? I can't support you. Change your name. Police brutality against Black.
So
all you're doing is following the media like everybody else and sensationalizing issues. We're not saying that police brutality is not a problem. That's not what I am saying on the show. What I'm saying is that if you say Black Lives Matter, make it all Black lives.
Yes.
Not just those killed by police. Because what? That's where the money is.
But I'm wondering, activism was much more stronger, so-called people were out or whatever. Unfortunately, when former President Trump was in office. So what happens when we change, pass on the baton? Is it, okay, sit back, nothing's going to happen, and let's see how far we can go? So I don't understand. I don't understand.
Yeah, I don't understand. It's again, I'm all up for capitalizing on issues. I'm all up for that. I am nowhere near upset about you capitalizing issues, as you should. But let's be fair. Because I think that if we begin, so kudos to the God Squads, right? Kudos to the God Squad out there.
Yes.
Corner, right? Kudos to Pastor Monroe's, Assemblywoman Monique Chandler Waterman, Mercedes Narcisse, Councilmember Farrah Lewis, Rita Joseph, Kevin Parker, Roxanne Joe, a lot of our electeds who are actually standing, occupying the corner, the 6-7 precinct, the 6-9 precinct, that are actually out there doing something about the damn crime while we're sitting there going, oh, the police. No. Right? Very upsetting to me. Very upsetting. Like our lives don't matter. Only when there's money involved. Oh, there's a big lawsuit. Let me sensationalize it. I think somebody asked the question just now. Let me see. Go back. Who is controlling something? Oh, yeah, it is. Who's controlling the organization? I think maybe it's the lawyers. I think the lawyers are putting out the message that they want the people here so the client can gain money. Right? And again, I'm not upset with anybody for making their money. But that's only one component. I'm so sick and tired of it. And it's always our Black people who are dying. Innocent. I'm not even talking about gang and gang violence. I'm talking about innocent. I'm hanging out with somebody and I don't know this person has a problem. I get caught up in a violent outrage when I don't even know what the hell is going on. We're teaching violence. We're not talking about socializing our people to not commit violence. You know, I think I told a story a couple months ago where the kid was getting beat up and I interceded, and the kid turned around and walked back to the violence. And I had to stop him. What about social interaction? Don't go where violence is. Be safe. We're a village. This is what we're talking about. Right? Don't want to tarry too long on the subject. I did see a couple of comments. Let me see if this is, I agree with all life should matter. Thank you, Star Girl, for that. Wenda, thank you for your comment. My sentiments as well, Mr. Daly. And Lorianne wrote, that's true. So I appreciate you guys for listening right here on The Village. Brought to you by the Single Parent University, by our guy, the King of Jerk, right there in Utica and Glenwood. Do reach out and make sure you subscribe. Subscribe to our channel. Let us know the topic. Send us an email at villageshow30@gmail.com. Call us in if you want to participate in the topic. Please do that. We appreciate all of your input. So Brittney Griner.
Yes, I wanted to speak about that. Do you think they rushed in letting everybody know, hey, we're doing this, we're doing that, you know, this is where we're at? Do you think they should have said something?
My opinion or what I believe to be the fact?
Opinion.
So my opinion is no. But from my friends in law enforcement, and John, you can support me with that as somebody who helped to make laws. These things are already in place. We're getting the aftermath. Mm-hmm. So these all, it's just like when Osama bin Laden was killed. They didn't tell us that they were doing a secret mission to go kill Osama bin Laden. They killed him, and then they announced that we did a joint operation with the Navy SEALs, and he's gone. So I think the deal was already in place for it's already in place for both of them to be set free.
I think this administration talked too much, too fast, too quick.
They all talk. Because remember, you have to have media-worthy things.
Yeah.
So I think they have already signed, sealed, and waiting to be delivered. Just the opportune moment. Remember, he's up for re-election. And it's a big no, not Trump.
No, Trump is wants to run again.
Yeah, no, but I'm just saying with the Brittney Griner situation, we're going to talk about Trump in a minute, but with the Brittney Griner situation, Biden is up for re-election. So he has to make this great announcement that he brought.
Come on, Roger. Biden ain't up for re-election for another 2 years. So, yeah, I mean,
Biden is up for when right? His rating is very low right now. He needs a booster. So it's going to play out until he makes the announcement.
The interest rate going up doesn't help. Okay? It does not help.
Inflation. I mean, we're in a recession right now, my friend.
Yeah. So sorry, please.
Hey, listen.
And I noticed that the gas prices are inching up again.
They're dropping, dog.
No, dog.
Wait. What did you last see?
Dog.
What did you?
I just bought. Last week I bought premium. It was $4.85 on my favorite place on Utica and Clarendon. Now I bought it today. It's $4.97.
Really today?
Yep, 8 cents.
You know, but John, you got to remember something too. That's important, right? Then they're normalizing the price now. Remember, they were new.
Exactly true. They're normalizing it.
So it doesn't necessarily mean that it's the gas prices are going up. It's just going up now to normalize in the whole area. Because when I bought it last week, it was $4.99, right? $5, right? No, sorry, it was $5.04, and then I get my usual 15 cents off per gallon.
How you do that?
I have a BP because I always tell people, it was funny because we're all in Oregon, and I was telling people that you need to let your money work for you. No, not the Delta reward. So I have a BP card, And with my BP card, I only go to BP or Amoco, and I get every time I buy gas, it's 15 cents off. I get automatically.
Oh
And
man, shit! I gotta apply to that.
gone $10,
But you got like Gulf, and you have what's the other one?
but it works out cheaper though.
No, but they too depend. If you have certain apps and all that, you get in 5-10%.
No, but it's
10
still
cents off
yeah, but
every
it's
time
still
you go.
it's still cheaper because they give 5 cents, I get 15. So you're getting 15 cents off every gallon every time you go.
So when I look at BP, I mean more time passed by BP, and sometimes BP is like 4.85. Then I might go to a different gas station and they're like 4.50, and I still can get the 10 cents off.
Well,
right
that's
there.
so. I think that's a good point,
Yeah.
right? So what you need to do when I'm saying this is, I told you I have a BP card, right?
You just have to download apps. I don't
No,
have to
it's,
know them.
no. What I'm saying is the one that you use the most. That's the one you need to. Like Wawa has a good deal too if you live in Jersey, right? If you live in right? So it depends on where you are, but it's 15 cents I get. Because I was having a conversation, and I'm going to go back to the Trump thing. Let's do that first before we get to inflation. You were saying that the Republicans are stating, you didn't say that part yet, but what you're getting at is the Republicans are stating
That he better not say that he's gonna run for re-election because
there
he's
was
gonna mess up their chances because they've been paying his legal fees. So
right. What is Stargirl said Biden became under pressure, is not doing anything, so he had to say something about the Russia swap,
that's true. That is true.
Russian swap, all right, or political move for re-election.
I don't know if it's re-election.
I think it is re-election. Everything you do good, it boosts your rating. Like you're saying, take off the eyes off inflation.
Roderick,
Yeah.
He has to do. Wait, if he do student loan, then maybe I'll consider voting for him.
hello.
They did do something about student loan.
No, if he eliminates, I hear this.
They
talk
need to eliminate that, not postpone
hear
it, kick
this
the can
talk.
down the road.
is in court right now.
You can't eliminate student loan.
Yes,
Who
you
said
can.
you can?
It's executive
Okay,
order.
so okay. Let's have a serious conversation.
Somebody gonna pay for that.
Let's have a serious conversation.
As the executive order. Yes,
Wait. The government put out a certain amount of money for you to go to school with low interest rate from the bank for how much ever you qualify. That's why they don't give you infinite student loan. And by the way, they can't get rid of personal student loan. I mean, private student loan. They can only get rid of government student loan, right? That's the first thing. So they give out a small amount so people don't get confused. Don't think that because you have a student loan from Chase for $20,000, it's going to be gone because they do student loan forgive. It's the government student loan they're looking at. They give you low interest rate money. So if we're taking from the government, right, because if they forgive student loan, completely forgive the government student loan, what are they replacing it with?
interest rate.
Explain.
The higher interest rate. Everything is going up anyway.
So if you get rid of student loan, the government needs money. Where's the money coming from?
Hey, Roger. You know,
Why you guys can't answer questions, man?
no, the question is, where does the money come from?
I know what money. That's what I said. If
Where
they
does the-
get rid of, if they get, listen to my, let me ask the question again, because both of you need to answer. If they get rid of the student loans, the debt, the student loan debt, the government is eating all of that, billions of dollars.
But they already ate it.
Wait, billions of dollars. What are they going to replace that money with?
15% earned interest on those corporations that do not pay any corporate tax.
All right, I called American City Advantage, right? I have a Citibank card. I called them yesterday. They outsourced the jobs because the person I was speaking to wasn't American, and they weren't Jamaican either, nor Haitian, nor Guyanese, right? They outsourced the job to these low-income areas. So Americans are losing jobs. So when you say put the 50% on the backs of business, where the business go?
15% on those multinational corporations that do not pay
tariff.
corporate tax.
So you're saying put a tariff on the companies. So America lose more jobs, inflation still rise.
Nobody's saying they're losing more jobs. Roderick.
Okay, again, if
Roderick,
you-
it's the same
wait,
way we found
just said
Roderick.
the
It's the
same
same way we found all those billions of dollars to give to Ukraine to fight the war.
Yeah. Yeah.
I like that comeback.
Yeah.
I like that comeback. I like that.
Yeah.
There's no way they really have that. I think that's probably like an IOU. So when Ukraine get out of it and everything, it's like now they're under US's thumb. So if US say, yo,
Kind of like France and Haiti.
yeah, it's like, yo,
And
I need you
Jamaica
to do
and
something
China.
right now, right? You need to help me. Ukraine be like, well, US is like, yo,
Sign your soul.
IOU. Remember that? Remember that? So
But it's the same thing.
how you gonna lend money when you don't have no money?
All right, so John gave one solution, and I already countered that with the loss of jobs and the rise in inflation. So I countered that, and John back and forth. You said that. Joanne just wants student loan to go. She doesn't care.
Yes.
She doesn't care that you're riding on the backs of her Social Security in the future.
What? Listen, man. I paid my debt already. You know.
I agree, Dr. Brian. That's the only way I could reelect him. Oh, if he forgives student loan. So John, go ahead. I'm listening. What are you going to do when inflation rises and we go into a deeper recession than we?
But you know what? You can't say student loans. They gave millions of dollars loans to everyone during the pandemic. They don't even know who actually have those money.
Oh, wait. You guys, you're not accountants. They had to pay. They had to put that in their tax return. They had to put that back in their taxes. They paid taxes.
Some people. You know how many people did fraudulent activities?
Brother, you know how much money they have recouped from people doing fraudulent activities, Roderick?
Zero. Is that what you can tell me?
No.
What?
Talking about billions of dollars already.
There you go. Okay, I didn't even know that. Right? So the point is they pay taxes and they recruit people who do fraudulent activities. So that's not even a point of argument. They gave out this money. Now I can hear the point about what they did, what Obama did with the car companies, right? Where they bailed them out and hoping that they will give more jobs back and spur on the economy, which I don't think they did a very good job at, right? But we have an issue. It's a multi-pronged. Again, this is the Republican in me. Fiscal responsibility of our government. So get rid of student loans. Yes, I agree. How we pay that? One way I would suggest. This is one way I would suggest. I would suggest that you forgive student loans if one.
You're
a couple ways to do it.
You're an educator?
No.
Since there's no more.
Not just an educator.
If you're
One way to forgive student loan is for people to volunteer with the armed services or spend work.
Right.
Wait. You can't keep saying I'm going to get, but I can't give. I'm not giving you a singular option. Multiple options.
What about volunteer? What about those, instead of going to these private schools and these charter schools?
Well, who are you talking about? Teachers?
Yeah, have them serve, continue to serve in the public schools.
Right. You do a 5-year contract with the public schools, public institutions, not just schools. Right? Because you know that you pay less than private institutions. Or you're going to say, oh, they shouldn't limit you for what it is you can do.
Here is a problem now. Not enough people are going into the education field.
Again, listen to what I just said. We're
I heard what you said.
That's another argument too, right? This is another way to get them in. If I'm going to forgive your student loan, this is your give back to our community. Right? You go back and you teach at a community college. They say you don't want to go to a public school, teach at a community college. Right? You have to, when I'm forgiving your loan, when they forgave my loan, I had to stay in public school. Because I had loan forgiveness. I don't owe any student loans from the government. Right? So they paid back my student loans. Right? And yes, Black Butterfly. Right? We do go above and beyond. But it's not just right. People in public service, we don't get paid enough. Once you're in public service, you don't get paid enough, no matter what area, whether you're a nurse, whether you're a doctor, whether you're a teacher, whether you're a police officer, firefighter, you don't get paid enough for the crap that you have to put up with when you're in public service. right? And people think that you have to do something because you're in public service,
Right.
right? So I agree with you 100%. So I'm saying we have to have a menu of give backs if you want me to forgive your student loan. You can't get something for free. Thoughts? Why so quiet? Why are you shaking your head? You just want free give back? Is that why you're shaking your head, Joe?
Nobody wants a free give back.
I'm asking Joe. She's just shaking her head like, no, that shouldn't be. I guess she's stuck in the military.
I wouldn't say it's a free give back because the thing is I work all the time.
I'm not talking about you. We're talking about the subject, not you. What is the return for the student loan?
Community. There you go.
Again?
Helping out with the community and crime. There you go.
Wow. Go ahead.
All right. So in that sense, right, we have to think about some things that we have to do, right? So the GDP Q2 just came out today, and it shows a negative growth for the second time, which of course suggests we're in a recession.
Absolutely, common sense.
So I mean, in recession and people still getting student loans and all that. I mean, the country's still in debt. So I owe you thing. But what I want to say is that there's a few things people should consider doing, right? You want to make sure that you have emergency funds. You also want to make sure you spend less than you earn.
Yeah.
You giving people general?
Yeah. Just pay off your debts, no rack up debts. Smart money, buy assets, and weak money buy liabilities. So in other words, if you can't afford it, don't borrow to buy it, and don't buy it.
Yeah,
right.
And make your money work for you. I keep telling people that all the time.
And that's the thing about the last thing. Do your due diligence if you invest, and if you invest, do it aggressively. Because right now there's a lot of money just being transferred. The rich is just making a lot of moves in the market. So make sure you do your due diligence.
You know, I want to point out, I was talking to somebody, make your money work for you. People in America, stop spending cash. Stop spending cash. Cash is, what do you call it? It's depreciating value. If you're spending it, it's not working, it's not doing it. Stop spending cash. Stop going to those mom and pop stores who only take cash. Right? Your money has to work for you.
Some of the mom and pop stores need the support.
I agree. But then if they want to support, they want the money, get a credit card machine.
Maybe they don't have to get a credit
card machine. I don't care.
All right.
I don't care. And don't go to the store that tell you to buy a $10 minimum. Or you need don't go, I'm telling you up front, don't go to none of them. Any store that you go to that gives you a minimum on what to purchase, you need to get rid of them. Because they're telling you how to spend your money. Nobody should tell you how to spend your money. It's your money. And so they're telling you, if you walk into the store and I just want a beef patty, right? I budgeted for $20 this week to spend around the place. You're going to tell me I got to spend $10 in your store? Right, because they don't want to pay the fees, so they make you pay by buying these things, right? You get a card of what you need and spend it like you budget, like you budget for what you need. So if you know you like to travel, get a card that allows you to travel. If you know you need your gas, get a card that gives you money back on your gas. If you want the cash at the end of the year to buy gifts, get a card that gives you money back. Right? Although personally, I don't like the cards that give money back personally. That's me personally. Because right? I mean, if you're paying it off, then everything's a positive.
I agree with some of what you're saying. And thank you, Andre, for the suggestions that you gave.
I'm not a financial advisor, by the way.
Yes, I want to tell people that we're not financial advisors. Okay,
you
need to have somebody. You need to have 3 people on retainer: a lawyer, an accountant, and a financial advisor. Those 3 people you should have on retainer. If you scared money, don't make money.
So, on the other hand,
before I close up, you guys have important words. Before I close
how come they didn't know that that a recession was at place? Who are they not paying attention to what's happening around around?
People listen. There's a difference between knowing and believing.
So the people who are in power and raising and lowering or whatever, oh no, we're gonna do it. I don't understand. There's a disconnect.
So what people need to do is whenever the Fed is coming out with something, look at what the stock market does, and that tells you what's happening. Parting words, Joe. Your parting words, then John.
Okay, my parting words is, ladies and gentlemen, look out for your family, your friends, your community. Make sure you go out there, become a community, and take care of yourself. Be
God
safe.
bless. John, 30 seconds.
Grace and peace, and my condolences to the Bernard Edwards family.
Yes.
Yes. Thank you everyone for joining us right here on the Village Radio Talk Show. Right. Please do share what it is that you've heard. Share some conversation. Do email us back. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, the Village Radio Talk Show on YouTube. Subscribe. We're looking to increase so we can build advertisement, so we can get more stuff done for you. God bless each and every one of you. Remember, we're dedicated to empowering the community to live a healthy, safe, and financially capable life through education, helping each one of us in realizing our dreams at any age, any point, starting from today. Success is not just spoken, it is done. Happy birthday to all of my friends out there, which I miss. Sharon, Paula, Kathy. Oh God, when I start calling names, I'm gonna forget. But anyway, happy birthday. I gotta go.
All right. Bye-bye.